This is the Real Ass Podcast. Here's your host, Louis J. Gomez.
What's up, motherfuckers? Real Ass Podcast back in full effect. Friday morning, Stand Up New York Lab, special start time, 11 a.m. I'm sorry if you are expecting this at noon, but luckily, John, this will be live. This will be live on YouTube directly after we finish, right?
Yeah, I'm working on that.
So nobody's missing anything. Nobody's missing anything here. Zach Amico in studio. What's up, bud?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm in a pretty good mood. Scopo's not here yet. It's every minute he's late, it gets me a little bit more like unraveled and angry, and I don't even like really care because I think the show's better when he's not here. But I just can't wrap my head around how he's late literally every time.
If there's one thing I know about Louis J. Gomez, it's that he respects other people's time.
Say what you want to say, cunt. Say what you want to say.
Is that he would never waste someone else's time for his own idiocy.
All right, let's get it out of the way, Zach, because you say everything's fine. Here's the problem with Zach, okay?
You said save it for the show.
No, you are passive aggressive, Zach. Zach is the type of guy, he won't say anything's wrong. He'll just kind of let it happen. And then you see these little cunty comments that he makes here and there. Me and Zach have been doing some demos over at SiriusXM. Can't give out really any information on that right now, but we've been working there week to week and working on some stuff. And every Thursday we've been going in and doing this thing. And Zach every week calls me up and says, "Hey, dude, are we doing the demo today?" And last week, it was almost like an annoyance in my voice. I'm like, "Zach, dude, yeah, we're doing it every week unless I tell you otherwise." So last night, I'm running around. I had a rehearsal dinner for my buddy's wedding. I had to pick up a tuxedo. I'm all over the place. I forgot to tell Zach that we would not be doing the demo. And Zach was just standing in the rain on the corner of 48th Street and 6th Avenue. And let me tell you something. Zach is not, he's not easy on the eyes or the nose. You don't want to wet Zach. A wet Zach is not going to be good for anybody coming anywhere near his vicinity.
I steam up the inside of a car like a St. Bernard.
So I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry.
No, I know.
Last night I apologized profusely. I came in here I looked at you in the eyes
and said I'm sorry. Yes.
So I felt very bad about it. And now you're going to keep on making me feel more bad.
The only reason that I'm not mad is because the call was so perfectly you that I couldn't be mad at you.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Because I want to just put people in the headspace. I'm mad. I just went to security and the lady's like, "Honey, you ain't in here." And I'm like, fuck. And I came all the way from fucking Bay Ridge. I'm in a bad mood.
You see, you're pressing the red button underneath the counter. And you really do look like you're about to shoot up any place you're about to walk into.
I should have tried that last week. So I call Lewis, and the first thing I hear, "Oh, hey, buddy, it's just..." And then I hear in his voice that he fucked up, but he didn't say it yet.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Hold on. I'm going to punch you in your fucking mouth. Don't fucking talk to me right now." "Hey, buddy, I forgot to do that." "Don't fucking speak to me."
Well, here's the thing. That I was in a cab. I had gotten out of the train by Dan Soder's apartment. We had to go to this restaurant for this rehearsal dinner. I get into this cab, and the motherfucker, here's what he did. I didn't know where I was. I was on 31st Street. And I get in the cab, I'm like, "Yeah, I got to go to XXX 31st Street, right?" And I got into the cab going away from 31st Street. So he literally says, "You don't need to take a cab. It's right there." And it's just pouring rain. I'm like, "Dude, I don't know where I'm going. Just take me there." So this motherfucker, he knows that I don't know where I'm at. So he drives 10 blocks in the opposite direction, 10 blocks. And as I'm talking to you, I literally figured this out as I'm talking to you. I'm looking, I had the GPS on, and it says, I see that I was a block and a half away from the place. So in that exact moment, I'm like, "Buddy, what are you doing?" And then you called, and then I'm feeling bad at the same time as angry at this guy. And he stopped the car, he put it in park, and he said, "Get out." And that's when I said, "Buddy," I said, "Zach, hold on. I'm going to have to punch this motherfucker in the face right now." And as soon as I said that, he just put it back in drive and just quietly drove me. And I was really going to punch him too. I really meant that. I say that a lot. Like, that's kind of like my go-to. like like a salutations.
Yeah.
It's hey,
Crack your jaw this morning.
But no, I was legitimately going to punch this guy in the face. So I felt very bad, and I do apologize. But I think you saw in that moment, you're like, I don't want to goad Lewis into committing a felony.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect moment, and the fact that I could tell you were already in shambles. I wasn't going to kick a man while he was about to punch an Arab.
Look, man, we got a great show today. All right, first of all, what do you say? You can't say Happy 9/11, right?
No.
That's not the thing. What do you say? What's the thing, John? What do you say?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's anything you could say today. I just try to pretend it's not happening.
No, you gotta acknowledge that it's happening. It's fucking 9/11. It's a big deal. It's a we just gonna pretend that it didn't happen.
No,
you
it's
didn't
not
post a
pretend-
picture of the Freedom Towers this morning, or the Twin Towers, or the Empire State Building, or the MetLife Building. So just post a building at least, John. Shelba, what'd you do to observe 9/11 this morning?
I got a smoothie spilled on me in the train station, so this literally is my 9/11.
This is your personal 9/11.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
It was a smoothie made of dust. It was all over him, and then he had to walk 45 blocks home.
Yeah, look, obviously it's a very sad day in American history. And we're a comedic podcast, I'd say 10% of the time. And, I think you have to talk about this. We cannot ignore 9/11, John, which is that our producers here at Center New York Labs would have us ignore the date altogether.
I'm not saying ignore it. I'm just saying.
No, you said it. We have it on recording.
No, I'm saying it's a really hard day, so I just want to get through it and be done with it.
Did you masturbate this morning?
No. I fucked my girlfriend, though.
Which was her personal 9/11. Everyone was recreating the disaster. Yeah, I always felt weird when I was a kid masturbating on holidays, religious holidays, or days that I wasn't you're supposed to kind of be sad, Pearl Harbor Day, Father's Day, things like that.
That's the day you're supposed to be sad.
Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to be sad at Father's Day. But yeah, man, it's it's so funny because all year long, I don't mind people making 9/11 jokes. I don't really, I don't care. You can really joke about whatever. And I was living in New York City during 9/11. And I want to actually ask everybody what they were doing during 9/11 on the show. So, I personally feel like, I don't know, man, I lived through it. I experienced it. It's also something on the positive side of things that really did bring New Yorkers together. I didn't listen to Chris Italia on Ari Shafir's podcast, but apparently he had an amazing, a 4-hour podcast because Chris Italia was a first responder, which I didn't even know. I had no idea. He was one of the owners of The Stand. Also, it's my management company, CH Entertainment. I had no idea, man. He has a whole crazy story. He was down there, the first team of people down there pulling fucking bodies from the building, which is crazy, But yeah, it's these little things that happen, these horrible events, they end up bringing us together in a weird way. I remember just after 9/11, there was a fucking, New Yorkers, there was this sense of fuck them. We are New York. We're not going to let them kind of take this from us. I remember I was selling comedy club tickets at the time, and 2 days after 9/11, we just went back out and we did it. The comedy clubs all opened back up. Guys, on September 12th, comedians were getting on stage and telling fucking jokes, and people that don't know comedy or people that don't know what we do and the type of therapy that this is for a lot of comedians, they go, why would you tell jokes the day after 9/11? And, it's for me personally, I don't think that there's anything more beautiful than a bunch of people getting into a room and saying, fuck, everything is fucked. I'm terrified. I'm scared for my life. I had nightmares about buildings crashing down on my head. To this day, I still have nightmares about that. It was such an impactful thing. But for comedians to come together and say, fuck it, we're just going to tell some jokes in a fucking club and see if we can make some people laugh. I thought it was a really beautiful thing.
I actually remember, Lewis, and this is your story, and I apologize for pilfering it from you. I remember on the
Finger
day of
banging your girl in her
the
sleep?
Boston bombing, you performed for a family from Boston, and I remember them coming up to you after the show. It was the day of the bombing, and they thanked you because they said all they wanted to do was laugh after that.
Yeah, and that's
how low they were. They were happy to see Lewis.
I wasn't even doing jokes. They were just laughing at me walking by. No, yeah, man. It's a tough subject. You're right. It is a tough subject. Scopo, come on, you fucking. Scopo, stop acting like it's like some other factors in the world made you late. Come on.
No,
It's
I
fine.
swear I left my apartment.
I'm fine.
I'll take it, but I left my apartment today at like 10:10. And it was just traffic just
are
sucked.
celebrating 9/11 on the show right now. Scopo, what's your favorite 9/11 memory? Is that look, we're not making light of 9/11. It's a glasses half full type show. So we're not just talking about the negative side of the event. What is the positive? I thought it was very positive that comedians performed the day after 9/11. A very positive thing that we all kind of came together and said, fuck it, you know?
I mean, this is how fucking.
Where were you on 9/11, Scopes?
In Miss Defner's class, English, 9th grade, first day of high school.
First day of high school?
Yeah.
Was it a Monday or a Tuesday? It was a Tuesday, right?
It was a Tuesday, but in my high school, we had it off on a Monday. This is how they did it.
Scopus only went to school 4 days a week all throughout the years.
That's why I'm a little slow.
Yeah.
It was Tuesday, so it was the first day of high school.
And what happened? What you were sitting in the middle of class?
Actually,
Is that in Queens?
Yeah, Flushing, Queens, Holy Cross. And the teacher that was next door to my class, her husband worked in the towers, so she came in like fucking crying to my teacher because she had a cell phone. I guess back then, and not everyone had a cell phone.
Yeah.
So she fucking like grabbed in the middle of class. Just grabbed.
I had one. I had the Nokia. We used to change the faceplate. That shitty like
the snake on it though. You had snake.
Yeah, Snake. Yeah, of course, dude. That was the first like cell phone game that cured my ADD. Just playing Snake. So she came in.
She came in like fucking crying. We're like, what the fuck is going? Why is this fucking teacher crying? It was like 10:30 or something like that. And then the principal came on the loudspeaker and told us like a plane went into the building. We were like, oh, a plane? That's a fucking.
But everyone
two-seater?
thought it was a fucking accident. Everyone in New York City. I remember the first plane hit. It was like, holy shit! A plane accidentally crashed into the Twin Towers.
I thought it was like
then
one
the
of those-
second one hit. You were like, oh my god, another plane accident. Like, oh wait a minute, maybe it wasn't an accident.
I thought it was one of those like single, like the small ones. I thought it was a small plane went into the fucking building, and I was like, oh, all right, whatever.
Whatever,
Like,
two
that's-
people, some fucking
Yeah.
dentist who's taking flying lessons.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Good.
It's gonna be terrible.
Good. I'm glad he's dead.
Save some lions.
You want to be a fucking bird, you cocksucker? Go die. But then you found out it was the biggest terror attack in history.
And then, because so you could see, I saw the second building go down from my house because everyone was like calling their kids out. So like my mom fucking picked me up and she drove us back to Queens, and then in my where I grew up, there's a fucking hill, so you could see the towers, and all of a sudden I just fucking saw that thing go right down. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, dude.
That was bad. Yeah,
It's pretty nuts. Zach, what were you doing?
Same. I'm the same age as Scopo, so I was in world history, experiencing world history, and I watched it out the window of my classroom.
Where did you go to school?
Secaucus High School in Secaucus, New Jersey.
That's fucking crazy.
We were right
dude.
across the river.
To just watch that
watched
shit
it out the
happen,
window.
dude. I was in Chelsea, so I couldn't first of all, I was in school. I talked
you had
about
a good
this.
joke about that.
Yeah, I never do the joke anymore because it's worked one time, I think, and then I was like, all right, nobody's laughing at this. But I was in Baruch College and I got out of class. I had a class from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It was a long, shitty marketing class that just went on, and they didn't say shit. They didn't let us out of the class. I didn't know. So when I got out at 1 o'clock, 9/11 was just happening. You know what I'm saying? Like 9/11 was just a fucking thing that was going on. You know, and they didn't even say there was like a terrorist attack. All they said was classes were canceled for the rest of the day, which is the joke.
You're like happy, yeah.
Yeah, I jumped up and down like, yeah, fuck school, and everyone was like, why are you so happy? But yeah, it was, and I really was. My reaction legitimately was like, I was happy at first, and then I started walking around and seeing everyone like freaking out on their cell phones. And I mean, literally, I couldn't get in touch with my family. I was staying with my girlfriend at the time in Chelsea on 23rd Street, and this cunt, her dad was an FBI agent or a DEA agent, and she got an escort out of the city. He literally drove her from her apartment to Rockland County where we grew up, and she didn't want to tell her dad she was dating me, so she just left me in New York City. She just left me to die on 9/11.
Hold on, Dad.
Did she have her fingers crossed out the window the whole ride home?
I had a terrorist attack, and I'm dating a Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
This is going to be a bad day.
So I ended up having to rollerblade from 23rd Street and 7th Avenue all the way up to 178th Street, across the George Washington Bridge, up the Palisades Parkway till about exit 3, where somebody pulled over and just finally picked me up, and they're like, dude, do you need a ride? I was like, no, I just enjoy rollerblading on a fucking parkway.
So you're going to rollerblade up to Rockland County?
I was going to rollerblade to Rockland County, yeah.
Yeah, I remember my cousin.
I was fat at the time, dude. I was just fucking 250 pounds, just sweating. It was just awful.
This guy's gonna
Then
die.
you get to the heights. There's all these shitty
There's
hills.
gonna be
It's awful.
3,831 fucking people dead after today.
So yeah, that was my experience, man. And look, man, it's a shitty thing. Obviously, we're not making light of it, and I don't even want to talk about this the whole show, but you see people kind of making jokes today about it, and I'm just kind of like, it's a weird thing, dude.
It
I don't
bugs
know.
me.
I'm not a guy that gives a fuck when people make jokes, but there's that one meme that I think I laughed at the first time I saw it. It just wasn't. It was like in July. It was Hulk Hogan doing the big leg into the Twin Towers. Like it's a meme where they put Hogan, like just he's attacking the towers, and it's pretty funny. But somebody posted it this morning. And I was like, I don't know. It just
Not
seems
today.
it just seems in poor taste, especially when there's so many people that died. If you're a New Yorker, somebody that was really, even if you weren't affected by it personally.
You know someone who really was.
You know somebody that was affected.
I have three friends. The father died.
Oh, really?
That were firefighters. Yeah,
Wow.
I grew up with.
Wow.
Because everyone in my neighborhood's a blue collar person. Like,
That's what
cop.
9/11 is what stopped Scopo from becoming a firefighter and getting into comedy. So that was
thank
it,
you.
guys.
The tragedy never stops.
Thank you, Osama. How about that?
Yeah, seriously, honestly, we can blame ISIS and the Middle East
It was
for.
Al Qaeda for that.
They're all
one.
the same shit.
Same
Come on, they just changed the names. That's not true at all. Guys, listen to part of the problem directly after this. Well, they will have actual knowledge on this show. They're not after this.
Dave isn't coming in. He's going to the wedding, and he didn't realize it till last night.
That's the difference between the Real Ass Podcast and the rest of these shows. Is I take this very seriously. Am I wrong or am I right, John?
You take it really seriously. No, it's great.
Thank you, Shelbo. Everyone's very excited to have you as the producer of the show.
Reddit is on fire with excitement that you're here.
Yeah, you got fired from Ron and Fez. I didn't know this. I did not know. I don't know if I would have hired you had I known you had been fired.
What do you get fired for?
Here's the thing. I didn't even ask for a recommendation because I knew he was so good. I was so impressed with my experiences with him. Every time I'd worked with him on the Ron and Fez show, he was just such a pro. He was so in the moment. He was so in tune that I was like, I don't need a recommendation. I know what we got here. I assume that you moved on because you were bigger than the show, but you got fired.
I don't know if fired is the right
That's what everyone on the Reddit sphere is saying.
Reddit sphere. They're experts.
They also don't like your face.
No, I don't like my face.
I like your face. I think your face looks like a fleshlight, kind of.
I've always thought it was more of like a Picasso face.
Okay, that's true as well.
What did he get fired for, though?
Yeah, what did you get fired for? Because I just want to watch out and make sure that nothing happens on this show. That all we're doing is we are preemptively taking some measures to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes that you made on the Ron and Fez show.
No, there are no mistakes. There's no bad blood anywhere. There's no firings.
No bad blood. Are you sure? Because you look like you have AIDS.
The tests are coming back.
I like that we have our producer camera over here too. Shelby, you look like you really look like a vampire that drank way too much AIDS blood. That's what happened. Shelby broke into an AIDS clinic and started biting people without realizing what was going on.
They've done every vampire movie they can, but I think that one they could still make.
They can. They
That's
really
actually
can.
a good idea. I was thinking of a
Shelby,
sketch.
you look like you're 3 days before becoming a lampshade.
Shit, Philadelphia meets Nosferatu. We got to make this movie, guys. This is good. All right, fuck. Let's change the subject a little bit here. Scopo, you did the roast battle against Deepu. I won't get into how horrific you guys were. It was okay. You did a good job. They were very hard on you, and they were kind of cunty. I'll admit it. They were a little bit cunty because Bobby, Ari, and Mark Normand, who are just fucking mean assholes, they decided, and the video's up, guys. You can go to YouTube, Stand Up New York, Stand Up The Stand's YouTube page. The battle is up. You ended up getting some help from some of your buddies, Zac Amico, and Deepu decided that he was going to go and write all of his jokes on his own, which, look, dude, in my opinion, I host the roast battle shows. After kind of experiencing this over the past few months and getting into these roasting shows, I think you should have to write your own jokes. I think that should be the rule of any of the Roast Master shows. And then you kind of weed out the bullshit. Then the guys who are really good at it become good at it. But Corinne Fisher and Christina Hutchinson shouldn't be able to walk into a comedy club and look like they're good joke writers, because they're not. You know, I think it's kind of it's a weird thing. Like, you saw it in Christina's eyes when she was roasting Dave. Like, the first time in her life she had good jokes to go up on stage with. And I think that that's a little bit unfair. And comedy, I think every one of these shows whether it's a roasting show, dark show, fucking, naked show, whatever all these crazy shows, they should be testing your mettle as a comedian, and they should almost all be experiments in comedy. And I think when you have people writing your whole set, I don't think that it's really, literally reading jokes off a page, it doesn't really do much. And by the way, in the Big J roast, you guys wrote 80% of my jokes in that roast. So I'm personally, but looking back now, I don't, well, look, a roast is a different thing than a roast battle. I'll also say that, because I think with a roast, the idea is putting on this big show and you have a lot of people to write for. But we got to write 12 jokes. If you can't write 12 roast jokes, you probably just shouldn't be on a roast battle. Am I crazy about that?
No, but I think there's also a difference between getting jokes and collaborating with people, which is more the people I've had the experience with. I sit down with them and I actually do that.
If everyone did it that way, I wouldn't even have a problem with it. But the problem is you have people that are just coming up with a sheet of paper where other jokes were handed to them. And look, here's the thing. Mike Vecchione is such you're so good at it. Mike Lawrence is so good at it. I would almost not even care if you were roasting Mike Lawrence and you went to Vecchione and said, hey, help me with this. Give me some jokes. Because you've proven yourself in that thing. I'm just saying you got a lot of really young, open mic comics that are doing this. And when you have Deepu, which is the first guy that actually saw this, said, hey, I'm just going to go and write all my own jokes. You saw what happened. And you go, all right, I don't know. He's not ready to do that show. He just shouldn't be on the show. And it's not knocking Deepu, because I think Deepu is funny and I think he's a good dude and he's a hard worker. But I think you have to be at a certain level to get onto certain shows. And I think there should be a barrier of entry. But either way, I'm listening to it back this morning. I'm just going through it just because I wanted to kind of watch it again. It was very funny. Ari was so mean to you guys. It was one of the funniest things ever. But Deepu, one of Deepu's jokes, very interesting to me. Deepu goes, Chris Scopo says in 2 years he'll pass Luis Gomez in this business. This is the premise of the joke, and then he says some shitty joke.
You know what I wanted to say? I didn't say it. He said Luis Gomez. I want to go Luis J. Gomez.
You should have said that. It would have been the funniest thing you've ever said.
I know.
So then I'm going wait a minute, hold on. He didn't just make that up. This came from a conversation that Chris Scopo had with Deepu.
No. Well, I said this to your face on the YKWd
Be careful what you say now.
podcast.
Hold on, be careful what you say.
Yes, I will.
Because these podcasts are out there. So if you are saying that it's on recording.
It's on recording.
And that's where Deepu got it from.
That's where he got it from.
Okay.
You can go back and listen to it.
Okay. Which episode?
The last one you were on.
The last one I was on.
Yeah.
Okay, last one I was on, guys. Dude, I'm not going to go listen to that because that was my.
That your phone doesn't go back 6 months.
That was my final appearance. My final appearance on YKWd. It's a touching episode. I don't want to go back.
They
and
really
listen.
should have killed you off on that show. They should have had you go down an elevator shaft or something. If they were when they stop booking funny people, they should start killing them. Have Will Sylvans fucking Haitian murder them or something.
Oh man. Yeah, so go back if you're fans of this show. Go back and listen to my last appearance on YKWd. Do you remember the name of the episode? It's out there. You guys can find it.
What's her name?
What's her name? Okay. So I want to know if Chris Scopo said this to me on the show or if this was said behind my back, because I think it is very funny if you believe that, Scopo. Especially because I'm the person, I'm trying to put him on. So now I have a guy who I'm trying to put on that's trying to fucking get ahead of me
Louis,
behind my back.
I take it from you. You got to believe in yourself. It's the secret. Believe in what you want.
You're lucky you're quoting my favorite book to me right now.
And it will come to you. It will come to you.
He knows how to get me.
So I know how to believe in myself.
If you start spitting out the secret at me,
Yeah, because you believe in the secret.
He also has protein in his pocket that he's going to throw at you like a dolphin.
Give me the fish.
All right, look, dude. Let's fucking move. I was just kidding. I don't actually care. I want you. Come for me.
You know
2 years. Guys, mark the date. September 11th, 2017. Chris Scopo will be ahead of me in the business.
You know what the funny part is?
2017, September 11th.
Deepu, he doesn't even listen to the roast. Deepu said it. Then I saw him twice since then. We hung out at the stand, and I brought you to Legion of Skank. Never brought it up to me. And then last night you just texted me.
I watched it last night, rather. I watched it last night and I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, this motherfucker. Really? Okay, Scopo. Guys, please take a note. I need everyone to put it on their calendars, in their phones right now. September 11th, 2017. I need you to check in on mine and Chris Scopo's careers and see who is further in this business. I need everyone to check that. It's actually the date from the last YKWd podcast, if that's actually it, which I don't believe you because I see it on your face.
No, I swear to God.
I see it falling apart on his face.
No, I will.
All right, Scopes.
People will go back and see it.
We shall see. Ricky Bones over at SiriusXM was supposed to send us over a new bumper for the new segments. We're supposed to be doing intros for the segments now, so we don't have them now. But we're doing a couple segments on today's show. First of all, we're bringing back the hate mail segment. We're going to do hate mail for Lewis today, guys.
Awesome.
And there's a lot for you guys. There's a lot out there. Okay, not for Zach so much. Zach went from being a guy who everyone hated. I mean, literally, people were just like, "Oh, dude, I fucking hate that guy's face, his laugh, everything about him." And then in the past 2 months, Zac Amico turned his whole image around. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Zach needs to come in and he needs to be the host of this show." And just now on YouTube, somebody was commenting like, "Oh, dude, who cares if Lewis isn't there? Let Zach just run the show till he gets there." Fuck you, people. Fuck you, people. Zac Amico.
I really went from heel to face without changing my persona.
Let me tell you something. I would rather look at your heel. This guy, okay, right
You
here.
can look at it when I'm passing you in the industry.
In 1 year.
That's a more realistic thing right there.
That might actually happen.
That's realistic.
But passing me in the industry is very easy. Passing me in stand-up comedy, it's going to take you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get a
Nah,
fucking
he's-
lobotomy. I don't know what's happening.
It's not happening.
You got a long time.
But we're going to work on that. So look, we're going to bring back hate mail for Lewis today. Shelby, do you know how to put together fucking intros and stuff?
You're getting a phone call, by the way, though.
I'm getting a phone call. Why am I getting all these phone calls? Why is everyone calling me? Everyone.
Because the wedding is canceled.
Hello, what's up, dude? Everyone's calling me right now, and I'm in the middle of a podcast. Is it important? Because I've gotten calls from
rest
everybody in
went
the
well?
wedding party.
It was fine.
Cool.
We all got slaughtered.
All right.
It happens.
Call you back, buddy.
Bobby going to give you $100?
I don't know, maybe.
What happened?
What's your best man speech, by the way?
I want Zach to help me write that on the show today. We're going to go into that a little bit. I need help writing everything that I do.
Where is the wedding?
The wedding's going to be in Brooklyn. I can't talk about too much about it.
No, I didn't know if it was going to be like.
So I can't.
I know the girl's not from New York.
We're gonna we'll get into that in a minute. I want to do this hate mail for Lewis segment because Reddit has been blowing up over the past few days because of the last couple Legion of Skanks episodes, and I've gotten a lot of hate. I'll say it. I accept that. I accept the hate from
What have you said?
the fans. All right, so look, here's what happened, okay? And I don't want to rehash too much of this because I don't really give a shit, okay? Kurt Metzger came in last week and was a major cunt to me and Dave and was telling us to shut up the whole time. So we kind of had a fucking whole thing, like both on and off the air. It got a little bit weird. Everyone was like, fuck Kurt, we don't want him back on the show. We've kind of retracted that since because he's our buddy. We were just kind of mad in the moment and he was just being a psycho. So, obviously Kurt will be back on the show. But at the time, we were a little bit butthurt. And yeah, I admit it, dude. It's like, yeah, don't fucking come onto a show that I produce and spend my time, creating to try to make me look like an asshole. That's just not what I'm going to do. So then Nate comes in a few nights ago, 2 nights ago, and does the show with Joe List. And Big J was already butthurt because they didn't invite him to lunch. I guess so. Jay was already in a bad mood. So I come into this podcast, it's already this weird energy. And then we get into this stupid fucking argument on the show. One of the dumbest arguments I've ever had. First of all, I'm 100% right. There's no debate about this, and I won't rehash it for the fans here too much because I know people are annoyed with the argument as it is. But long story short, I was saying I've come to a place in my career now where if clubs, that work me, not that work me, any clubs, like if a road club were to call me and say, hey, we want you to host or feature for somebody, I would turn that work down. And Nate and Jay were just very dismissive of that. They're
No, you said that if it's someone big, you would take it.
Well, I said no. I said I would measure the opportunity. Like if it was if Amy Schumer said, come open up for me, I would say, yeah, obviously I would go do that. But if anybody outside of a huge celebrity or somebody that I really, really respect, like comedically, like a Dave Attell, Artie Lang, like one of these guys who I kind of look up to in comedy, it just doesn't really make sense for me. I'm trying to sell myself as a headliner, and I am headlining clubs. On average, I'm headlining once a month right now. And anybody in the business knows once you make a transition to headline, you don't start taking feature work. You don't start looking for feature work. So the argument devolved into how not only should I take it, I should be hustling more to go around the country and try to find feature work. And I was just like, that's just...
Well, I think in your case it's a little different because you have a child. So
forget the child. If you don't have a child, if you're a comic listening to me right now, and there's clubs that are willing to headline you once a month. I'm not talking about once a year. If you're at a place where you're headlining once a month, I think it's bad for you to go and take feature work because these clubs that might be thinking about headlining you now go, oh well, no, he considers himself a middle. When I've met with 2 agents since Montreal, both of them asked me if I'm headlining. I said yes. They were like, do you still feature? I said no. Both of them said good. Don't feature anymore. You should be selling yourself as a headliner. This isn't shit that I'm pulling from my ass. So people on Reddit, they're going, oh, Nate and Jay, they're way beyond you in the business. You should be taking their advice. I'm saying, no, everybody in this business also has extremely different careers. Nate is a squeaky clean comic who Jimmy Fallon saw him in a comedy club one night in New York City, picked him out, and then changed his whole fucking career. That's not going to happen for me. Big J happens to be the funniest person I've ever met in my life. Okay? The funniest person, funnier than everybody you can name in comedy. As a person, funnier than everybody you can name, but he is not a household name yet. So no, these guys don't necessarily have this perspective on how to hustle and get things done. I'm a guy who has turned chicken shit into chicken salad. I'm not anywhere near as good of a comic as Nate or Jay, and I've still created a very good career for myself. I'm making substantially more money than Jay or Nate were making at my level in comedy because I hustle and I know how to handle my career. One of the things that people say about me is like, Lewis is very good at the business side of this, including Nate and Jay. And Nate and Jay both agreed with me afterwards. They were like, oh yeah, you're kind of right. The argument just kind of got away from us. So either way, the fans, of course, they fucking go off and they wrote a whole Legion of Skanks PMS edition. They were bitching and moaning. And I get way too engaged with the fans. I really do. I just can't leave it alone. I have to go onto Reddit. And I'm not one of these guys who creates a fake profile and like posts under other people's names.
No, you do post as a real ass dude.
I post as a real ass dude. I don't need to. And some people have given me shit. People on the show have given me shit. The producers of our show have been like, dude, you don't got to go on Reddit so much and talk to the people. I'm like, I utilize all social media platforms as much as I enjoy being able to connect with the fans. And I think that's the difference between today's entertainment industry and the entertainment industry 10 years ago. We now have an opportunity to connect with these people, okay? So why would I not utilize every opportunity I have to connect to the fans? I am gonna stop answering negative shit though. I'm only gonna fucking start talking to the positive fans, except for these hate mail segments.
Every morning, Lewis checks MySpace and goes, oh yeah.
So look, dude, there was a new post on Reddit. It says Lewis is butthurt about the bonfire and is taking his anger out on other things. Seems insecure to me. If he was such a hard worker, then he shouldn't care about his two friends getting awesome success.
Are you butthurt about the bonfire?
Butthurt. I'm not butthurt about the bonfire. I'm happy for Jay and Dave to have the bonfire.
Damn.
Yeah, no, I'm a little scared. I'm a little bit scared about what will happen if the bonfire gets too big. I mean, Shelbo, you know what's up, man. This is serious fucking XM, right? If they decide to throw a shit ton of money at Jay, okay, and they're not right now. They're not throwing a shit ton of money at any of us. So I know everyone loves to go like, oh, dude, well, he's making that big fucking money. That's why, Legion of Skanks ain't shit anymore. No. Let me tell you something. We're doing fine with the Kumia Network, okay? I'm doing fine at SiriusXM. Jay's doing fine at SiriusXM. Nobody has offered us enough money to quit doing anything we do in our lives, okay? The contracts that we have at SiriusXM enable us to do these podcasts. However, they're going to throw enough money at them eventually that they're going to say, no, we're not going to continue to buy you billboards. We're not going to continue to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a show, not only in your salaries, but branding and marketing a show. Eventually, there could be the factor that comes in that Jay has to not do the show anymore. And that does genuinely scare me. It's not about being butthurt. It's about spending over 4 years of my life creating something that I legitimately love. Legion of Skanks is a band. We are a fucking band. And, the reality of it is, bands don't always last forever, but this is something that I have a tattoo on my hand. Jay has a tattoo on his hand. It's become almost a part of our identity. Legion of Skanks for a long time was bigger than any of us. You know what I'm saying? Jay just really blew up very recently. Me and Dave just started getting some success very recently. And it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And, not to, toot my own horn too much, but it's a full-time job for me on the back end. Jay and Dave show up and they talk and they're very funny. But for me, it's a full-time job. And the reason I treat it like a full-time job and I put a lot of time and effort in with Ding Dong and Bobby is because I love it and I see there being a future for it. So no, I'm not butthurt, but I do take these little shots and I am just being honest about it. The shit could hit the fan one day. And I can't look at my best friend Jay and say, dude, turn down fuck you money so we can continue to do this podcast that we just really love. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's say you got a garage band that's just fucking badass and has a killer following, right? And it's, not huge, but then fucking, it's just, You know, the opportunity, the ceiling is there for Legion of Skanks. People aren't throwing sponsorship dollars at us. We have skanks in the name. We say the N-word and faggot and we talk about racist shit and sexist shit. We get drunk and stoned on camera and shit just flies. You know, and that's why comics love the show and people love the show, because I think it is very symbolic of the freedom of comedy. And I think we're one of the only shows that use that type of freedom, and we've never gotten in trouble for it, and people love that. But there's a ceiling there. You know, people, you know, the shows that are huge don't do that type of shit, you know? And I think, you know, if you were in like a death punk band, right? You like that type of music, there's a ceiling for how far that could go. And if the fucking lead singer of the band got an opportunity to go become maybe a millionaire, and he's your best friend and he's got a kid, could you tell him, no, don't do that?
I would gladly shake my friend's hand for his Good Charlotte. I would go for it, dude.
That's it. You know, so that's, by the way, none of this is like coming to fruition. This isn't like happening right now. I spoke to Jay. I've laid this on the line. After the show I did with Nate, I really kind of laid that all out with Jay, because I wanted to, you know, I just, look, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm very honest. And I was starting to get frustrated on Legion of Skanks. I started seeing these little things, you know, 2 weeks in a row, Nate and Kurt, who are guys that I've put, the only thing I've done for my whole career since before I've been starting comedy is put not only guys like, but specifically Nate, Jay, Mike Vecchione, Joe DeRosa, and Kurt Metzger are 5 guys that I have been screaming from the fucking mountaintops are the funniest people in the world, okay? Before they were popular comics, before they had TV credits, when Joe and Nate and Mike were 2 years in, when Kurt and Big J were 5 or 6 years in, I was the guy. I mean, I was fucking selling street team tickets, going to people, like not saying Chris Rock's gonna be at the club. I was like, no, Big J and Kurt Metzger, you haven't heard of these guys, but dude, they were on the Chappelle show. You know, you remember that one scene where the cops came in and they kicked the door and they shot the dog? That was Kurt Metzger. I mean, dude, I'm talking about like that. That's what I was doing for years. And to have guys like Kurt and Nate come in and I feel like disrespect me and just kind of like, you know, it's like almost like a fucking like just don't discount what I do, because I've worked very hard to kind of get where I'm at, you know. And I have these conversations off air, and they don't really do it off air. We're like legitimate friends, and then I think the show, it's almost become a thing where we bust each other's balls, and they go there with me, and I do get sensitive about it. So I'll apologize right now. I apologize to the fans for getting sensitive on the Nate show. I apologize for getting sensitive on the Kurt show. Legion of Skanks isn't a serious show. If I want to be serious and have a conversation, we do it here, you know. Legion of Skanks is a show where we bang our fucking heads against the table and we make people laugh. So I personally apologize for not trying to be funny on the last episode. I was trying to be funny with Kurt. Fuck that. I don't apologize for Kurt. Fuck Kurt. You know, he's off the show again. I take it all back. But you know, that's it. So that, look, I wanted to address, you know, I wanted to address that, man. I'm not butthurt and I'm not resentful at all. I love, dude, Jay and Dan Soder are 2 of my best friends in the world. These are 2 guys that I speak to on the phone almost every single day. These are 2 guys that if I were to get married it would be debatable which of these guys would be my best man. Jay, Dave, Nate, Dan Soder. I mean, these are my best friends. So
You got to go with Dave on that one.
It would probably be Dave.
Dave
I already made Nate my son's godfather.
Has more
so.
availability.
But whatever, dude. I wanted to address that. That's the only hate mail I'm going to address today. I'm sorry for going off on
maybe
that speech.
Jay would get a more famous person's wedding right after and not do a good job at your wedding. Really half-ass the best man speech.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Kevin Hart's getting married. I got to go.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, look, dude, I'm not fucking. I'm gonna move on from that. I want to talk about this best man speech in a minute, and we're gonna debut at the end of the show. We're gonna answer some questions. Real Ass Questions debuting on today's show, and I probably answered some of the questions about the bonfire right there. I love the bonfire, guys. Go listen to the bonfire. It is fucking phenomenally funny. You know that there's no debate about that. When Dan Soder was on Legion of Skanks, those are the best episodes. So you are literally getting the 2 funniest guys from our show. So go listen. It's fucking phenomenal. You know, this is my band and I protect my baby, and that's that. You know, so that's why I think I've been getting a little bit more sensitive. But everything is fucking good. Esther Koo this Tuesday on Legion of Skanks. That hot.
Should be a good one.
Hot.
Asian.
Just trying to hold it in. She's so hot. I love her. I really love her.
She really is hot, though.
She's perfect.
So hot.
She's fucking perfect. All right. I got to write a best man speech. I don't know where I'm going with this. I really don't, man. I tried. I'm not going to read to you what I wrote because I'm a little bit embarrassed. I guess I shouldn't be because I'm doing this in front of 300 people tonight.
Most of them are comics, too. That's not most of them, but a lot of comics will be
There's
there.
going to be, I assume there'll be maybe 20, 30 comics there if I had to guess.
It's like doing comedy and like all the comics are in the back room.
Well, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm gonna be. I think I have some funny things to say, but I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna like try to joke it up a lot. I'm gonna just try to be touching. You know, maybe write him a poem, read him a quote. I've been reading all these sites that give you tips on how to write a good best man speech. I have. They say you have to start off by thanking the parents of all the parties.
Have you ever met Gary's parents?
I met his mom last night for the first time.
Okay.
His dad left a long time ago. I'm going to thank him for leaving.
That's
actually.
right, because he has that story about him going to the NBA locker rooms.
So I think I have to open up with thanking I got to find out the names of all the parents involved, and then they say tell a story. Yeah, man. Look, dude. I gotta figure out a quote. I got to figure out some sort of like touching story about how we came together. And I don't even know him that well, which is the reality.
Why are you the best man? I don't get this.
Nobody likes him. I asked him what his favorite song was, and he said, People Are Strange by The Doors, because that was another tip that I got, which is read like lyrics, like to find out their favorite song, and then read some of the lyrics from that song, like a touching part of that song that you can, and there's only a verse and a chorus.
He wants that part of the song in the best man.
No, he doesn't want anything. I asked him his favorite song, and he said it's "People Are Strange" by The Doors, and there's only a verse and a chorus because what's his name?
Jim Morrison was too fucked up to write more than one verse.
People are like, oh, dude, he writes great lyrics. Like, no, he doesn't, dude. This is 8 lines over and over and over again. Okay, and they didn't have a bassist. How does anybody even respect The Doors? This is if I was going to read an excerpt, I would have to read this one, which is, people are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. Run. Then I tell the girl to run because your fucking husband's a serial killer.
Yeah, that makes no sense for having it in there.
I don't know.
How are you so bad at this when you speak for a living? How can you not put this together?
It's the same reason that I'm right. We talk about comedy being kind of like, or the art of stand up being, putting your funny in different, vehicles, right? I'm not really good at filtering myself, right? So what I'm really good at is if I'm in a comedy club that I'm comfortable in, I'll just tell my jokes and I'll say whatever. I'll curse. I say fuck a ton. I say shit a lot. When I'm not really thinking and I'm in the moment, I'm really, really good, right? When I have to do an audition and I'm having to remember a set, you lose like 50% of how good I am and how in the moment I am. If I have to do a clean set, you're going to lose another 10% off of that. If I have to do a show where they're calling out the subjects, and it's like you're just going to keep you're not getting me. So you know me at my best, which is coming into shows like this and just talking shit, or going on stage at a stand-up show and I'm just fucking telling jokes into a mic and just being in the moment. Yeah, I'm great at that type of stuff. But when I'm starting to think about everything, then I get self-conscious, I get sweaty, my hands go in my pockets. Like there's gonna be fucking kids there. There's gonna be 8-year-old kids fighting. Like all of my instincts are to say stupid shit, stupid shit. But I can't. You have to somehow make it like sweet and funny and personable.
You can go with the basics. Gary was never like a hole until he met blah blah blah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, dude.
He would have been better off picking one of the fucking dogs he walks than you as his best man.
No, I'm a great best man.
I know.
Look, I think the reason he chose me, this is kind of the gist of what I'm going to do. The reason he chose me as best man.
First time best man?
First time in a wedding party.
In a wedding? Oh, shit, really?
First time even in a wedding party.
This is his first time wearing sleeves.
Oh, yeah.
I think what I'm gonna start off with, and I don't want to make it like morbid, but I think the idea is I'm gonna start off thanking the parents, and then I'm gonna talk about how I'm gonna address. I was like most of the time you hear best man talking, they're gonna tell you a story about how, they met this guy in summer camp in the 6th grade, or they met him in high school. They went to college together. I was like, I met Gary like 5 years ago. He's a guy who I didn't even know super well. We started like hanging out, and he's a fairly private guy, But I think that there's something about, for me, and this is a true thing. This kind of I want to somehow incorporate this thing. But in comedy, when you start being a stand-up comic, for some reason you lose all of your friends in life, like your other friends that aren't in comedy. And what I think it has to do with, and I have to think of a nice way to say this, you're living your dream and your friends are not. And I can't say this to a room of 300 people that are not living their dreams. So the reality of it is, though, you are living your fucking dream every single day. I am getting up and it's one of the reasons me and my son's mother are broken up and we can't work. It's very difficult to be close to a person that is living their dream. And if you can't live for that person living their dream, and you're sitting there going like, well, why am I not living my fucking dream right now? It's difficult to be around it. It's difficult for me to go to my friends back in Rockland County and go, oh yeah, dude, I'm fucking really going through it, dude. I had this TV audition and I just didn't go that well. I'm going to this festival. They're flying me up here, but I gotta fucking figure out the set. They're going, dude, fuck you, man. I work 12 hours a day. I'm busting my ass. I gotta have back surgery because I work at a fucking park.
They hate their job.
They hate their lives. They hate their jobs. So what happens is you just it's a weird vibe. You drift. You drift from these people very naturally. And it's happened to every comic that I know, it happens with, and I think that me and Gary, obviously we have the bond of being comics, but he's also another guy who hustles. Gary, up until a month ago was handing out flyers in front of a comedy show that he produces. Nobody, dude, guys, we have so much pride at our level. We're talking about this Legion of Skank show. It's like, you do the same thing now, Scopo, but Gary's been on telly, he's been on Conan, he's gonna be on Conan again soon. He's doing major things, So it's like.
Yeah, but probably the same thing. I know if I don't do it, no one will, and I'm not gonna get people in, and I'm not gonna get a show off.
Of course,
I can't get better.
But the point that I'm making is he's almost removed from that level. He could almost hire a guy.
But it was the same thing
to do that. But he's the type of guy who says, "Well, no, I need to hustle. I need to make money. I don't want to hire a guy and pay a guy." He's like, "I'd rather make all the money." He swallows his pride. He puts his nose down, and he just moved forward. And I think that we really connected like that. We were both guys that kind of. We look. We all have egos, but I mean, I really, dude. I did a lot of shit that a lot of people wouldn't do. To be a comic. Guys like Big J, I mean, Big J would never stand in February and try to sell people comedy club tickets. We did that for years.
Can't because the gloves are.
He has fingerless gloves. He'll get frostbite in his fingertips.
Can't do that,
So it's like it takes that is something that I think we really, really connected on. That's I think why we became friends. So I kind of want to incorporate that concept into the speech. But how do I say to a room full of people that you guys are dead inside and you're not living your dreams, and that's why we're better than you?
I think the better way to address it would be
we're
in an industry where you have to live your career. We're not in a business, we're in a lifestyle. And that Gary found someone who can accept that and go through him with that and live that with him and be willing to experience that and go through the trouble and the struggle of what he does is a beautiful thing, and we're all here to celebrate it today because they found each other and we're all better for knowing it.
Can you pull that clip? Can you pull that clip and email that to me so then I could just put the recorder up to the thing?
Go back, listen
that
to
was
that,
beautiful.
and write that down. I was tearing up.
That was beautiful.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, look, that's kind of what I was getting at, but how do I?
But I had to do punch up on it.
He has to do punch up. But no, I'm saying, but how do I articulate the first point, which is like comedy is this lonely game where you kind of drop all your friends? Because I want to transition from me being Gary's best man for that reason, and this is why we became so close, into now he found a person that he can share this amazing experience with. I have to figure out the.
You can basically say in what we do, there's a sense of brotherhood because no one else does what we do. And no one else has experienced a career like this. So when you meet somebody, you're kind of like, there's this sense of kinsmanship between us. And Gary doesn't have one best man here today. He has 30. We're all over the room.
Let me tell you.
Was I born for this, Shelbo?
Wow, I am fucking...
He doesn't have one best man. He has 30. I mean, that literally made me choke up.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Dude, with 9/11 today,
it was beautiful.
Speech, yeah,
look, here's the thing.
I'm gonna cry.
Tonight, I'm gonna get all the accolades.
Yeah.
When they listen to this podcast on Monday, everyone's gonna be like, Lewis is a hack. He does not have an original thought in his head. But I'm using that.
Yeah.
Can you please write that down, John? That is a beautiful line right there. I was looking up Henry Ford quotes, too.
You're a fucking fool.
Henry Ford?
Yeah, he's got great quotes.
You're an asshole. You are an ass.
What?
Why would you quote Henry Ford?
He's got a bunch of good quotes.
Gary's like a car.
Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently.
If it was his third wedding.
Yeah, you don't say that.
Okay, that's not a good one. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. I'm so happy that these two have learned from each other.
That's not a bad one to go.
So much.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
See, dude,
That's a good one.
first of all, you could fit Henry Ford quotes into anything in the world. They're all made. Look, I'm going to go random. Ready? Boom, random. Nothing in particular is hard if you divide it into small jobs. So that's why we're all going to have a gangbang session on Gary's wife tonight, guys. We're going to make this bitch come again and again and again. High five Gary's dad, who showed up just for the speech. It's not the employer who pays the wages. Employers only handle the money. It is the customer who pays the wages. There's no way to make that one relate.
No, that was
Terrible.
yeah. I mean, he has dog as customers.
Even a mistake may turn out to be the only one thing necessary to a worthwhile achievement.
Say that one again. That one again.
What if they met by mistake?
What was that again?
Even a mistake may turn out to be the one thing necessary to a worthwhile achievement.
That's
What-
only if he meant to text somebody else to ask them to be the best man.
Yeah. I didn't even. That's be hilarious. Oh fuck! I think it's Gomez.
Like he has a friend named Lewis from high school, but then he was just too nice of a guy to take it back.
When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind,
Not one to do today.
not with it.
I was literally thinking the same thing. I was like, yeah, airplane.
That's
today.
hilarious, dude. That's not a bad quote, though, for a wedding. That's not a bad quote. Guy, Gary, Allie, I
Yeah,
love you
if it
guys.
was-
You're going to face a lot of adversity in life. But just remember this, as the great Henry Ford said, when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind and smashes into a building in Lower Manhattan. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, it could any other day besides today would have been perfect for that.
In all fairness, if you're gonna quote a song, it should be "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Okay, all right. Look, we're gonna do this live. We got 10 minutes left in the show today. Solid show today, boys.
Yeah, we had
this
a
was
good
a
time.
good one. This is. I love doing the Real Ass podcast. I really do. I'm trying to convince Fatigate and Shelby to figure out the money so we could do this every morning here. I would love to do a morning show at Stand Up New York Labs. I think if we did an 11 to 1 p.m. show every day and we just treated it like a fucking radio station, what a fucking great thing that would be. Would that be great, John? Would that be great? Advertise. You can sell, advertise. You can do whatever you want. I'll sign that contract, John. I have no problem signing that contract. I'm not signing whatever you now. Well, a podcast once a week. Come on, what's a contract? We don't need a contract for that. What were we gonna say?
I mean, we're going to build a second studio eventually, so maybe then. But yeah, that's hilarious that you just refused to sign a contract. So
You really don't sign the contract?
Not yet.
we're just doing this for free.
We need
We're just
to-
doing this. No
We know.
problem. Just doing it for
We
free.
know.
It's a real ass handshake.
Hold on. Is Kurt Metzger under contract?
Yes.
I'll consider. I have to read it. And there, I told you there's
Do me
certain
a favor.
stipulations.
Please read it. Let's get this done.
All right, next, all right, how about this? Send it to me this week. We'll do the contract signing next week on the show.
Okay, cool.
Is Shelbo under contract?
Not yet.
I won't sign a contract until Shelbo does. He comes with me. He's part of our show. That's it. That's it. That is one of the clauses in the contract, John. I don't work without Shelby. He's the best in the fucking business. Everyone knows this. Fez didn't know this. But who got the last laugh? Fez is dying in Florida right now. Shelb's right?
Now there's a new gay guy who doesn't talk all that much in town.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, obviously. Shit, fucking Fez is literally the best. One of my favorites. Miss Fez dearly. Ron Bennington, obviously the best in the business. Going back on very soon. Doing the Bennington football pool.
Yeah, I'm
league.
in that pool too.
I know nothing about football.
You picked Seattle. I really hope you didn't fucking mush me. That's gonna be terrible.
I do have bad luck. Last year I picked the
Last
team.
year he goes to me like, oh, I picked the Patriots versus the Dolphins. Like, that's a terrible pick.
Why is that a terrible pick?
Because it's a division game. You don't want to pick a division game.
I don't know what division games are. I ask the Gomites. I say, give me a fucking pick, and then I kind of count up what they all say, and then I pick the one that
Well, no,
seems most.
I picked Seattle. That was kind of the best pick I thought in this year. This week was tough though. The spreads were only 6.5. The highest spread, I should say.
I don't know what any of that means.
It's like when an MMA fighter is gonna win, and they say by the first round. That's the spread.
Okay, so let me get a music bed, John. Can we play music though? Do we have something?
Yeah, what do you want?
Just let me get a little bit of it, just a beat, some sort of like hip hop beat, just something generic, just like a generic hip hop beat. It's gonna be our final segment of the day, Real Ass Podcast. Right after this, live Tuesdays with Stories, right?
No, they're going to the wedding. So they had to cancel.
They canceled. Is anything live right after us?
This is the last thing for the day.
So we're not even in a rush.
No rush at all.
Oh, I thought we were rushing.
No, you're rushing because you're the best man of a wedding.
No, I'm Puerto Rican.
What time?
You're rushing because you have a fucking best man speech to write.
I do.
What time?
Wait, hold on. You're rushing because I have a best man speech to write.
Dude, you might need to send me some lines for this. All right, dude.
What time's the wedding?
6:00. But I have to go do photos. I'm leaving from here. I got my tux right here. Okay, I'm leaving from here to go do photos. Get
Did you
dressed.
remember shoes?
No, we're wearing fucking Converse sneakers.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So you got some music, John? Let me get a music bed. We're going to debut Real Ass Questions on the Real Ass Podcast. Answering the fan questions, because honestly, this is about the fans. It's about the Gomites. It's about the Amicaholics. And Scopo doesn't have any fans, but one day.
Scopians.
The Scopians, that's right. They're
I
out
have like
there.
4.
And the Scopians.
Two of them-
His mom.
Well, all right. Listen, Mom and Janie and Josie, and then one dude in Alaska.
All right, let's see here, man. Real Ass Questions segment. I'm not going to pick them all. I'll pick a few at random. I like this beat, though. This is kind of nice, dude.
Diggable planets.
All right. Make it a little bit lower. Well, I just wanted a beat. I don't want lyrics. Do you know how muddy it's gonna? Shelbo, can you teach him something about segments? You can't have a dude fucking rhyming fresh flows while I'm
Hey,
talking.
you want beats in like 2 seconds? You're like, get me
Just
some beats.
fucking type in hip hop beat on YouTube. It pops right
gonna
up.
be
You just throw it
terrible.
on. It's
Hey, 95-year-old Pete Davidson, show him how this is done, all right?
I'm telling you, every beat I use on every segment on the Hammer Fisting podcast, it always started off with me going, "Oh, I need a beat" in the middle of the show, and then just typing in beat to YouTube and picking one at random, and that just became the beat. So, okay.
Another lesson learned on the Real Ass Podcast.
You know what?
Thank
He's like, you know what? He just said he's not under contract. I don't give a fuck.
Well, what am I gonna do?
That was the look
I
he
think
had. in
that
his
does
eyes.
sum it up, Scopo. Thanks.
Look, man, I'd be under contract if things were perfect. That's the point that I'm trying to make. I think it's so funny because, it's a double-edged sword here, John. You're saying you're not being a good producer because I'm not under contract. I'm saying I'm not under contract because I don't have a good producer. So I'm just, we got to figure out a way to do this here. We can meet somewhere in the middle. How about you be an okay producer?
I'm a
and I'll
great
sign my
producer.
first name on the contract.
I'm a great producer, and I will stand by that.
Dude, John, you get so angry. I'm kidding with you. You're great. You know Shelby? But that's why we hired him in here to make you better. So, all right, let's do this. All right. Ernie Balabanis, my boy Ernie on Facebook, longtime fan, says, whatever happened to Justin Silver? He went from being the 4th skank to persona non grata. Can you get him on the Legion of Skanks podcast or Real Ass podcast? Justin Silver, he stopped doing comedy, right? Did he?
I believe so.
I mean, yeah, I think he's in LA.
He moved to LA. Look, I'm still very close with Justin. I'll be seeing him next week when I go to LA. In fact, you know what I'll try to do? I promise this is what I'll do for the Real Ass fans. I'll try to do a Real Ass podcast exclusive with Justin Silver.
And you can do your interview with somebody who quit comedy you've been looking for.
Oh, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
But you know what?
He's not going to say quick comedy, though.
No, I want to do an interview with somebody who quit comedy because I want to interview somebody who gave up their dream. Okay? Stand-up comedy was really never Justin's dream. Being famous and rich was Justin's dream. To be honest, I mean, I love the guy, and he was a very funny comic. But Justin, the second he got his TV show, he stopped doing comedy. It's so funny because we grind so hard at this for so long. It's like the second you get the opportunity to now not have to grind as hard and just get stage time and be paid to do comedy, usually that's the break. Justin just kind of stopped doing it. So that's not him giving up on his dream. That's him he just was doing stand-up almost as like a hobby to then become like a dog walker to the stars, which is what he's done. He had a TV show. I think he's working on another one. He wrote a book. He's extremely rich and makes a lot of money, and he loves training dogs. So that's not
So he's the opposite of Gary.
Yes.
He's the yin to Gary's gang.
He's dude, he's fucking
He's doing what he wants to do in life.
He's doing what he wants to do in life.
So, yeah.
That's it. So I can't. That's
Can't
not.
hate on him,
That's not somebody quitting comedy. I want to get a dude who dude, I just couldn't handle it anymore, dude. It was killing me. I was watching my friends get shit, and I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't progressing. I was in. I want that guy. I want to talk to him about giving up that because I mean, I've been close before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you need 2 microphones for yourself, or can you just run around to the other side of the table every time you ask yourself a question?
But it's, but I didn't quit. I stayed in it, and, but I understand what it's like to be that guy, to just be right there. So I do want to get, so if you listen to the show and you're a comic,
I think
or
every
you were-
comic goes to their head about quitting.
Not Michael Che.
Well, yeah. Che, Pete Davidson. Really?
If you get success
yeah.
really early, and I won't. I think it also gets muddied. It seems like I'm shitting on Michael Che and Pete Davidson when I mention their early success, because it does seem like I'm a bitter, resentful older comic. It's not that at all. Okay, I don't remember which show I said this on, but comedy is really fair. Let's not get this shit twisted and pretend that we live in this unfair industry where the funny guys aren't getting anything and only the good-looking young guys that are getting stuff. First of all, Pete and Michael Che are extremely funny, so that let me not even say that.
Talent, also with persona.
No. Here's the thing. Pete and Che are the exception to the rule. They're very talented, but they also got very lucky that the right people really enjoyed what they do. Bobby Kelly enjoyed what I do. If fucking Lorne Michaels was the person that enjoyed what I did, I'd be in a different position in my career. It's obviously every comic that we hang out with are really fucking funny. We don't hang out with bullshit comics. We hang out with the funniest motherfuckers on the planet, okay? And it's like, a lot of the time, it's just a little bit of luck. Nate Bargatze happened to come in. He just happened to be in town that night at the stand.
That's
Jimmy
crazy.
Fallon happened to walk into the stand. And that set off a chain of events that just changed his whole life. But that doesn't really happen to everybody. These are these little, you can name on two hands maybe the amount of people that became famous that were doing comedy for 4 or 5 years by accident, where they happen to be, in the right place at the right time, and the right person became a fan of them. And good on them. But the truth of the matter is, you can also only count on two hands the really funny, great comics who work hard that aren't making a living. If you're really funny and you really work hard at this, you'll probably end up making a living being a stand-up comic. That's very fair in my opinion. For me to be able to tell dick jokes and not have a day job right now, that's really fucking fair. Who the fuck am I? So we get so depressed about our own careers and shit. You're like, dude, it's pretty crazy. I'm saying words and somebody actually is paying me for it. That's nuts.
That is a good feeling, though.
It's amazing.
It's a great feeling.
It's amazing. Dude, the first time you got paid because of your words, think about that feeling. Dude, you're like, what?
I just got money. I got not a bunch of money, but good money for me.
Yeah, you had a road weekend, right?
Yeah. So I was
great.
I was like, holy fuck! I just got to go on stage.
I live my dream and get paid for it.
People told me what to do.
It's such a fair industry in that regard, and we romanticize this thing and we make it look like everyone's out to get us, but in reality, like, we're all gonna be okay. Even fucking the guys that aren't fucking killing it right now, like you guys who are young comics coming up right now, you guys are fucking gonna be fine. You're funny guys, you're hustling, you're getting up on stage, you're submitting the writing package, you're getting on the radio shows, you're doing everything you gotta do. It's gonna be fine. It's not happening for you guys like it happened for Pete. It just didn't happen that way. And that's okay too. And I think you come to a place in your career finally where you go, yeah, I can fucking be happy for that guy.
Though,
maybe one day Carly will get fat and we'll be even, buddy.
I think though, like, if it does happen, it's more gratifying that you worked you worked your ass off for this so many years and you thought it was never gonna happen, and then finally it does.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, everything I did.
You're also more ready, and I think that also speaks, it speaks very heavily to how good Pete and Che are, and people don't even see that unless you're a comic, unless you know what it's like to go up and audition in a room full of industry, or to go on a TV show, or the type of nerves and pressure. And then you have guys like, start that beat over again if you could. You got guys like Pete and Michael Che who are not only doing it, but who look like they've been doing it for 20 years, who they're not even slightly
phased by it.
So that's it. It's such a heavy thing to go on Saturday Night Live, the biggest show in the fucking world, and to just do it and just to be in that moment and not be nervous and not stutter and not sweat. Dude, I would just be pouring sweat.
That's one thing about like Pete and Che, where they get the opportunities they got, they crushed it.
They kill it.
They crushed it.
Yeah, you can't hate on those guys. So it's a very fair industry. Brian Murray wants to know, how long until you're all good with Aaron Berg ignoring you in his book? He had such nice words on the Interrobang. I'm good with it. I was never not good with it. I was kind of over exaggerating a little bit how annoyed I was. It was a fucking, is it a little bit telling that he didn't put me and Dante in his book, and he openly admits that me and Dante were the first two people to kind of help him out? Yeah. But, it is what it is in the industry. Yeah, he's a fucking muscly climber asshole. What do you want me to say? I love Aaron, but it is what he is. There's a lot of guys like that. There's a lot, that is one of the shitty personality traits of Aaron Berg. I have them. You have shitty personality traits. You have them. So, in my opinion, that was a shitty thing for Aaron to do. But I'm over it. I hang out with Aaron. We hung out the other night. Let's keep it going. Did that beat go out again? There we go. Let's see. This is a good one. Jimmy Thomas wants to know, I currently listen to the following podcasts during the week, or following things during the day/week. Opie and Jimmy, Kumia, Legion of Skanks, YKWd, and Tuesdays with Stories. I don't listen to the Real Ass Podcasts. Which of the above should I drop out of the rotation to make way for the Real Ass Podcast on a trial basis?
It's up to you, dude. Whichever show you think's taking a huge loss lately. It's not as good as it was a while ago, dude. But we don't want to put words in your mouth or nothing, dude.
I say Opie and Jimmy. What are you going to... No, look, I don't want to... I'm not going to...
Wait, am I not going to get booked now?
Probably.
You didn't fucking do a good thing right there, Zach. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm obviously kidding.
Don't say you're fucking kidding, cunt. No, fuck you. Don't even do a show. Don't even do YKWd, Zach. You should say, yeah, dude, you had your opportunity for however long you've known you to do it. You've been killing it on this show for how long? And now, Scopo comes around. Now, after Zach gets a little bit of steam because he starts going around and does all the other podcasts and the radio shows, now Scopo comes around. What is that?
I mean, I didn't book him.
You could have been the person.
I didn't book him yet. I just said, hey, I'm gonna get you on eventually soon.
But that's crazy too. I still stand by this. It's crazy that he's not been on that show a year ago. I don't want to argue. I don't want to get into it.
I didn't know him a year ago.
Yeah, you did. You did. You were on the show with him a year ago. We've been doing the show for over a year.
We have?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally in my feed. I left for the movie a year ago and got replaced with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You fucking whatever. I'm not gonna give you shit, but you should have gotten him on already. That's crazy, dude. Do you know what?
You know how many people I have to fucking deal with?
No.
You don't know. Yeah, exactly.
No, you don't. You do not.
I don't really.
Why am I watching Corinne Fisher on YKWd?
I was
2 fucking times.
She's not on 2 times.
I'm sorry, Christina was on twice.
No, she wasn't.
Who was on twice that I was like, why is this chick on twice? I don't remember who. I don't want to shit on other people that I like, actually. But Zach, why are they on once and Zach wasn't on?
Because it's, dude.
He's got a lot on his plate.
Can we do it off the air?
He's got a lot
right
on
now,
his
please?
plate.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking do this on the air.
Because you're a pussy. That's your problem. You should fucking man up and go like, oh, dude, I'll fucking do it on the air. That's what you should do.
Okay.
It's a real ass podcast. All we do is we talk about real shit. I went off on 5 diatribes today, heartfelt moments where I was just trying to be real. That's the idea of the show. All right. I say, look, what am I going to say? Kumia, LOS, YKWd, Tuesdays Stories. To be honest, yeah, Opie and Jimmy. Take it out of the rotation. Not because I don't like Opie and Jimmy. I love Jim Norton, in my opinion, is one of the funniest radio people in the world. But they don't have me on the show. I don't know. What do you want me to say? I have relationships with everybody else.
Why do you got to drop one? Just add one.
Because he says he's got to make room. This is the question.
Limited amount of time.
This is the question. So I'm answering the question. I'm not saying, I don't got to play political. Here's the reality. Opie and Jimmy haven't had me on. They've had I know I've been mentioned to them multiple times. They don't want to have me on. I think it's because of my relationship with Anthony Cumia. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not butthurt by that. I don't give a shit. I do enough. I broadcast enough that I don't need to get on that show. And also, I think there's going to be a weird, unnecessary pressure if I do ever go on that show that it just doesn't really. I'm not like pushing to get on the show. But in reality, I have close relationships with Kumia. Legion of Skanks is my show. Bobby Kelly and Scopo on YKWd. And Tuesdays Stories with Joe and Mark. These are all close friends of mine who've had me on their shows multiple times and have given me opportunities in front of their audiences. So if I have to just be completely honest about that, I'm a loyal guy and I'm loyal to the people that take care of me. So if you have to drop one, drop Opie and Jimmy. But only drop one episode because we only have an hour of the Real Ass Podcast a week right now. So how about that? Listen to all the other episodes, and that's that. Well, I guess I'll do 1 or 2 more. This is one for Zach. Aaron Zarabi. Does a Prince Albert on a chode cause pee to come out as a mist instead of a stream?
No, but sometimes in the morning, especially if I fuck the night before, I get double stream. So it goes off like in 2 different directions.
Yeah, but that happens with everybody. That has nothing to do with your dick piercing.
Well, no, it's like sometimes it's extra for me. Because my peel's closed around the piercing.
Yeah.
But
that,
usually...
That will happen if I wake up like a half a chub. It would go fucking...
Well, if you jerk off the night before the cum gets like dried up in the tip of your dick, then you go to pee and then it just starts spraying out the one side and you're like, fuck, and you start shooting at that side and it shoots out the other side, it's in your mouth.
That's why peeing sitting down, very underrated.
Okay, guys. Do you really really sit down when you pee, dude?
If it's in the morning or at night, if I'm waking up, yeah, I'll do that.
I will argue, because I get a little drip off the bottom of the ring. When I wake up first thing in the morning, if I'm groggy and don't have my glasses on, I will sit down to piss.
No, let's just stop. We're gonna edit all this out. I don't want my fans to know that both of my co-hosts pee sitting down. I don't need them to know that. That's not okay with me. Okay, so Shelbs, do me a favor, make a timestamp. I'm gonna edit out.
You need to pee sitting down.
I'm gonna edit out all that. It's gonna be tricky because we have a beat with lyrics in the middle of it, so there's gonna be, but that's okay. I can't let the fans know that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You know when I pee sitting down? When I'm trying to show my son how to pee, because he doesn't. That's the only time I've ever peed sitting down in my life.
What? It's under tissue. I'm telling you, it's better.
Just don't be afraid,
Yeah.
man.
Jose El Munoz wants to know, has Zach sorted out his beef with Joe List?
Yes.
Did you? You talked to him about it?
No. No, but I'm not mad about it.
Did we ever tell the story on the show?
No, and I'd prefer not to.
Okay.
Come
on, Reddit.
Not to be.
Come on, Reddit.
Not to be real ass about it, but no. No, but I'm fine with it.
You don't want to share the story because you don't want to hurt another person in your life. That you know.
Yes.
Simple as that.
That's
It has nothing to do with you not fucking wanting to tell the story because you look like the asshole.
Yeah.
Scopo. You don't want to hurt somebody else's
There's
feelings.
somebody in my life whose feelings I don't want to get hurt.
And I understand that. That makes sense. All right, let's go. Two more questions, guys. It's been a great show. I love this segment. We're gonna do this at the end of every show. We're gonna do some real ass questions.
Segment too.
I don't mind the beat. We're just gonna do
Beat, yeah.
just the beat next time though, not the music. Leslie Lowry wants to know, why does Reddit and many other guy fans really hate the girls like Caitlin Bailey? Why is every Facebook comment section filled with dudes shitting all over the female guests or commenter? I'm talking about it on Legion of Skanks. Or I guess I don't think they hated Caitlin Bailey on the Real Ass podcast, did they? I don't think they did. Look, dude, here's why Caitlin's a fucking real ass chick. Okay, this is why I like Caitlin. Out of all those stupid SJW twats who come in and try to spread their fucking feminist horseshit, the reason I like Caitlin the best is because I think Caitlin is funny first. I think she does recognize that, she has an opinion, but if somebody's going to make fun of that opinion, I don't think she takes it too personally.
She doesn't shut down and stop the funny.
Yeah,
She lets the funny happen. So she does have an agenda, which I hate. I hate comics with an agenda, but I think she kind of stands by the rule of funny first. And on a show like this, or Legion of Skanks, or Kumia show, which she did recently, Race Wars, obviously, this is a fucking male-centric vibe in this room. It is very and I think it's very defensive. I think a lot of the male comedian hostility is a very defensive thing. We're constantly told that we're promoting rape culture and we're violent animals and men should just be fucking, contained because we're horrible. So I think we fight back a lot, and comics, we have a voice, so we use our voice, and we seem like we're fighting back even more because we're good at it and we're funny with it. So we have this kind of volatile, fuck you attitude toward women and feminism, which once again, I think is a defense mechanism. But I think you need that balance on a show. It's a good show. I mean, look, Legion of Skanks, it's a great show. It's very funny, but it just can't be the three guys with the same opinion over and over again.
It's good to have a female opinion in the show.
100%. It's also good to have not only a female opinion, but somebody who completely disagrees with you. Because, we'll have Bonnie on or Rebecca on. They don't really disagree with us. They just kind of make jokes and laugh with us. When Caitlin comes on, she's trying to, prove us wrong about the naked show or about why women have an unfair, disadvantage in comedy. And it's we attack her and all of our fans are kind of with us already. But you need somebody like that. And the fans shouldn't attack Caitlin. Caitlin's a friend of ours. Caitlin is legitimately, dude, I had a spot the other night. I went to a barbecue and I was like, dude, I have 3 hours to kill. I'm dead tired. Caitlin's like, I'm at home. Take my keys. Go to my apartment. Just sleep in my bed for the next 3 hours for your spot. We're friends. These are people. We get so lost in the personalities of these shows that you got to realize, man. Caitlin Bailey's a friend of mine. Kurt Metzger is a friend of mine. Sherrod's a friend of mine. All these guys. Nate. These guys are friends. So it's they shouldn't be as hard. Why do they do that though? It's because that's who our fans are. They're kind of representative of this young, angsty 18 to 34 male demo of UFC video game players, and unfortunately, she's going to deal with that more and more and more. But I think Caitlin's awesome, and I'll continue to say Caitlin's awesome on every platform possible, even when I disagree with her, because she has the balls to do it. Because that fucking cunt, Corinne, she refuses to even acknowledge me. You won't do a podcast with me, won't come and it won't have it out with me. She wants to just talk shit and have an opinion and then say that my opinions are wrong and that I have all these, and make up that I have all these opinions, but then won't even have the balls to sit across the table from me and actually talk shit. So Caitlin's a real ass chick. All right, last one.
Can I just say that Caitlin has a new podcast and there's a network called Crest to Mouth.
Crest to
with
Mouth,
Karen
very
Margolis.
funny with
Did
Karen.
she sign
Great
the
show.
contract?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, but they're fucking nobodies. So let's not. Give Scopo a contract to sign. Right? He'll sign anything you need. All right. This is it. Last one, because I think it's a good question to ask. Ryan Watchers wants to know why, also, when you were fat, how did you get over the nervousness of going to the gym? I'm super self-conscious.
Oh, you can't do that, dude. If you're a big guy, you gotta just go and fucking work out. I see my aunt's like that. She won't go to the gym. She's like, I feel bad because I'm fat. I was like, you gotta get over that.
I gotta say this, Scopo, and you're right. However, I almost feel like the advice can't come from you. It has to either come from myself or Zach, because I was fat and Zach is currently obese.
Yeah,
so,
but that's what you have to do. You can't worry about that.
Obviously, but he's trying to, he's asking some specific advice about how to get over it.
Go with a friend.
I think that probably is the best advice. You go with a buddy who's comfortable in the gym already. This is how I started working out. Justin Silver, we talked about Justin earlier. He was the guy who he gave me like the first workout plan I ever had, my first diet plan. He was giving me advice, and it was just the kind of thing where you kind of have somebody to.
Wow, I didn't know I was gonna be working out my asshole so much.
So you sure I bend over and spread my butt cheeks? That's all I gotta do. Do I feel the burn? Yes, I do.
But you can tell there's also a lot of good home workouts if he doesn't want to go to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude. I think a gym is a better environment. I think you have when you're at home, you're a little bit lazier. I think also a lot of the time, it's you don't know what you're doing, right? So it's like you're like running a race with no finish line, and you can't visualize the finish line. You don't know what's working. When I first started working out, I had no idea of the basic concept of diet and exercise. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't realize what it was. The idea of working out for an hour straight, I was like, well, are you fucking crazy? An hour straight? You didn't realize, you're not working an hour straight. You're working your muscles. You're resting them. You need a plan. In my opinion, I'll give you really good advice. Look up a reputable personal trainer and spend the $500 on 12 sessions. They'll get you started off the right way. Look up somebody who, that can just start you off with a program and get you a little bit acclimated, but also that can explain to you exercise science a little bit. Because a lot of times in the personal training industry, the job is to sell you another package. So the job is, you see them twice a week. You're supposed to come twice a week on your own. They slowly put you through a process, and you got to go with somebody who, a friend of a friend is usually the best, because you could be honest, like, hey, dude, I'm not looking to train forever. I want to build some basics. And I want to kind of like be a little bit more comfortable in the gym, because having that knowledge will get rid of that self-consciousness. Knowing that what you're doing is legitimately working, fuck all those other people, fuck anybody else who's there. That should be enough to motivate yourself. And the truth of the matter is, I think there's a lot of misconceptions that it's all just hot people in the gym. Go to a shittier gym. That's another thing. Don't go.
Yeah, don't go
to Equinox. Equinox is fucking models and gorgeous people, and people who spend $200 a month on their bodies. Somebody who's spending $200 a month to make their body look good and their health, somebody who really gives a fuck. Or they're really, really rich, but it's you don't see many huge fat people working at it in Equinox or like a high-end health club. Go to Planet Fitness, which is $10 a month.
Yeah, I go to.
You get a lot of people that are just trying it out for a few months. You're going to see a lot more people that look like you that are maybe a little bit unsure of themselves. I
go to a retro gym, and it's a good mix of high-end guys who work out hard, and then people who are overweight.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what all the affordable gyms are. Blink
$20,
Fitness.
Yeah.
Obviously, Planet Fitness. That's a great
I love
one.
Scopo's description of high-end guys. By the way, real fucking hotties.
Dude,
Just real fucking smoking
They
hot.
put tats, bro.
Tear my
Are you
ass
kidding
out.
me?
Motherfuckers got abs for days.
Oh, doing bench.
But yeah, I think that's if you can't afford a personal trainer and you want to go the cheaper route, go to a cheap, affordable gym. Typically, it's a lot of people that are trying out for the first time. Go to a beginner's yoga class. Go to something where there's going to be a lot of people that are doing it for the first time. There's clubs on Craigslist and online where it's like people that are like, hey, dude, it's like fitness clubs for people that are just starting to work out, where you can get with a group and just kind of like, I get the self-consciousness. When I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. I was doing stupid shit. I'd have guys come up to me all the time being like, dude, I remember I was doing jump squats because I saw GSP do them in a video. This is when I first started working out, dude. I'd putting fucking plates I literally not even thinking about form, just on my toes, just jumping up in the air, not even squatting, just on my toes. And some dude came up to me and he's like, dude, you're gonna fucking hurt yourself. And I was embarrassed. I remember kind of almost getting defensive and be like, no, I saw GSP do this in a video like a fucking moron. And this guy's like, all right, dude, I'm just saying, man, yeah, it sucks, but you know what, dude? What's more worth it? Living for another 20 years and feeling good and being confident and having, the life that you want, or fucking having some douchebag in a gym being like, oh, look at that guy, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, also, if you're overweight, don't immediately think you can go to heavy weights. That's a lot of people do. They come in.
Don't. Like I said, a trainer would be best. Dude, look, if you want to write me a personal email, I can give you a really easy program. I would say go online on YouTube and look up the correct form. That's what I did for Dave Smith because I didn't go to the gym with him. I gave him a program that I wrote out for him that was very basic, and then I gave him links to YouTube videos so he could see the proper form.
Because getting hurt is worse.
Yeah, well, getting hurt will make it so that you never go back to the gym.
Yeah.
So, all right, look, guys, we're going to get out of here. Good show, guys. John, you got my outro music ready? Real quick, before you guys start that outro music, Scopo, anything going on?
No, just follow me on Twitter at Chris Scopo. Oh, no, I'll be with you. October 24th?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got a gig. Poughkeepsie, New York, guys.
24th it was?
I forget the name of the venue right now, but it is October 24th. Zach, I might be able to get you a spot on that show.
Yeah,
If
please.
you want to go and do that. What do you do? But Halloween, are you still working those haunted houses and shit?
No, I'm done.
You're done with the haunted houses?
Yeah, it's closed.
Love it, dude. Good. In fact, I will tell you right now, Zach will definitely be on that show. Will 100% definitely be on that show. Come see the Real Ass Podcast live October 24th in Poughkeepsie. More tickets and information coming out on that soon. Zach, anything else?
Follow me at Zach is not funny, and congratulate me for quitting my day job.
You did?
I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice on Monday.
What did you? So did you get the other thing you were trying to get?
Not the writing thing, the behind the scenes thing.
That's fucking amazing.
Awesome,
Congratulations.
man.
Quitting my day job this week, everyone. Tweet me congratulations at Zach is not funny.
I am still 5 years away from that.
That's fucking amazing, dude. Listen to me, man. That I think people that do this, they know how much that means to be able to say, dude, I am just being creative. I am just in the industry now, which is an amazing thing.
Can't wait to fucking not have a day job.
Yeah. All right. Let's start up that music. We're gonna get out of here in a minute, guys. September 20th or 24th, I'm going to be in Los Angeles. So, guys, I will be posting the dates this week. I have a couple different club dates. Come check me out at some showcases. Also, October 9th and 10th, I'll be headlining Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island. So make sure you guys get your tickets if you're in the New England area. And October 24th, Poughkeepsie with the boys, Real Ass Podcast live. So if you're in the upstate area, Rockland County, Albany, Poughkeepsie, all that whole fucking 2-hour radius, come out. We'll check you next week, Real Ass Podcast. Peace.
Say la vie, adios, good riddance, fuck you!
That's all, folks.